Chuck Potthast has always struck viewers of 90 Day Fiancé as a man who wears courage lightly, but the past months have tested that courage in ways that go far beyond the television lens. Following a harrowing medical journey culminating in an 8-hour surgery, Chuck has now shared a major update from the hospital. The news is hopeful, but the road ahead remains steep. This is a look at what led to this surgery, what was done, how Chuck is coping, and what this tells us about resilience, family, and hope. The backdrop: health battles beyond the screen. Many fans know Chuck as the father of Libby Potthast, one of the beloved cast members on 90 Day Fiancé, and for his good humor, kindness, and strong presence in Libby and Andre's life. What fewer people know is how much he has contended with private health struggles over the years. Chuck has been cancer-free since 2017, after undergoing surgery to remove a tumor. That bout with cancer left him understandably anxious about his health in the years that followed, prompting regular checkups and vigilance to ensure the disease did not return. But this year, Chuck faced a different but equally serious medical challenge: a hernia that had developed after prior surgeries. The issue, while not initially publicized in detail, gradually became more pressing as it caused pain and discomfort, interfering with his daily life. The decision, the operation: when things got serious, knowing that waiting could make things worse, Chuck announced via social media that he would be going into the hospital for surgery. He described the hernia and how it had been affecting him, but what he didn't know then was how complex the surgery would turn out to be. Originally, the surgical team had planned for a procedure that might take 3 to 4 hours. However, once operating, the doctors discovered that Chuck's stomach had completely collapsed, a complication likely worsened by previous surgeries and perhaps by the delay and seriousness of the hernia. Faced with this complexity, they extended the surgery, working for a full 8 hours to repair the collapsed area and remove the hernia. This was not an easy task. It involved more time under anesthesia, more delicate surgical work, and higher risks of complications such as infection, blood loss, or other organ stress. The immediate aftermath: in the hospital, awake, and speaking after surgery, Chuck released a video from the hospital. In it, he's wearing a hospital gown, looking understandably tired but also relieved. He spoke about how the surgery had gone, describing the outcome as successful in terms of repairing the physical damage. He also made a point of saying how much discomfort the hernia had caused him. He expressed gratitude for relief, particularly being able to get rid of the hernia and feeling what he called his flat stomach again. He mentioned that although the hernia had caused significant pain, embarrassment, and limitation on mobility, finally having the issue addressed was a major emotional and physical victory. For fans, seeing his smile and hearing his voice, even weak but steady, was a sign of hope. How is he doing now? Signs of recovery. Signs of caution. According to Chuck's update, he is out of surgery and in postoperative recovery. Still in the hospital, he seems to be in good spirits, despite the obvious fatigue and discomfort. His mood and outlook appear positive. He was cheerful in parts of the shared video. He has acknowledged that the surgery took longer than planned, but he's glad it was done. Relief seems to be the prevailing emotion. There has been an emphasis on the physical consequences of his ailments: pain, discomfort, limited daily functioning, and the degree to which the hernia had altered his quality of life. With those improvements coming, even if slowly, he seems thankful. That said, recovery from 8 hours of invasive surgery is never simple. There are several factors that Chuck, and anyone in his position, will need to watch. 1. Healing and pain management. Pain and swelling are expected. Management of both will be critical so that discomfort doesn't delay mobility or lead to complications. 2. Physical therapy/gradual mobilization. After major abdominal surgery, getting up, walking, doing light movement helps prevent blood clots, promotes healing, and keeps the body from becoming stiff. But it also must be balanced against not overdoing it and risking strain or reopening wounds. 3. Infection risk. Any surgery, especially one that lasted many hours and involved significant tissue manipulation, carries risk of infection. Hospital care protocols, good wound care, likely monitoring of vitals, and perhaps antibiotics will be part of his immediate post-op care. 4. Emotional support and mental well-being. Recovering from surgery is as much mental and emotional as it is physical. Chuck's openness with fans may help. The support he receives from family, friends, and followers can be a strong aid, but there may also be psychological stress, worries about complications, confidence in returning to normal, concerns about body image, etc. 5. Lifestyle adjustments. Depending on what doctors say, Chuck may have to adjust activity, grooming, diet, rest, etc. to help healing go smoothly. This may include modifications to how he eats, how he moves, possibly restricting certain activities for a period. Is he okay? Answering the big question: so, is Chuck Potthast okay? The short version: yes, he seems to be doing as well as one can hope immediately after such a serious surgery. He is lucid, talking, recovering. The surgery reportedly succeeded in repairing his hernia, removing the structural problem that had been causing pain and distress. He has shared relief at having his stomach flat again, symbolic of reclaiming part of his life that had been compromised. But okay doesn't mean completely healed, and there are more hurdles ahead. For example, healing is still early. The human body takes time to regenerate after major surgery. Some functionality lost or limited before surgery might take longer to restore fully. Muscles, connective tissues, possibly nerves, might need more time. There is always a risk of complications, especially given the extended duration of surgery. Chuck will need good medical care and follow UPS. Emotional recovery will parallel the physical. Living with pain, frustration, and limitations can exact a toll, but Chuck is showing signs of positivity which are encouraging. In summary, he is not only alive, but he is engaged in recovery, hopeful, and benefited by the surgery. He is okay in the sense of being stable and improving, but okay is back to 100% is still ahead. The bigger picture: what Chuck's story shows us beyond the medical specifics. Chuck's ordeal holds lessons and reflections that resonate for many people, especially those dealing with recurring medical issues, aging, the frailty of health, and the love and support of family. 1. Transparency and vulnerability matter. Chuck sharing his condition, allowing fans to see him hospitalized. Speaking of discomfort, these are acts of vulnerability. They break down the stigma around illness, surgery, recovery. For people watching, especially those facing similar health battles, it can be comforting to see someone else's path,